Good morning, friends. Good morning to those of you who weren't able to make our 8 a.m. Zoom call. And good morning to everyone. Happy Wednesday, right? Today's Wednesday. So we are going to go ahead and talk about the first miracle that Jesus performed. Okay. So yesterday we talked about how Jesus was a part of the miracle of God bringing him life and sending him to earth as our Savior. And Jesus didn't necessarily perform that. He was just a part of that miracle. Okay, but now we're going to talk about the first miracle that Jesus performed. Okay, so I have my children's Bible here. And I'm going to go ahead and read John chapter 2. Okay, so the title is Jesus Turns Water into Wine. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill these jars with water." They filled them to the brim, and he told them, "Now draw some water out and take it to the man in charge of the feast." They took him the water, which now had turned into wine, and he tasted it. He did not know where wine had come from, but of course the servants who had drawn out the water knew. So he called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone else serves the best wine first, and after the guests have drunk a lot, he serves the ordinary wine. But you have kept the best until now." Okay, so here's a passage about understanding what just happened. So magicians do amazing things, like making people disappear. We know that these are just tricks, but Jesus really did impossible things. We call these things miracles. Jesus' miracles show that he is God. In the Gospel of John, changing water into wine was Jesus' first miracle. Jesus did this when the wine ran out at a wedding party. It would have been embarrassing for the new husband's family to run out of wine, so Jesus made a large amount of the best kind of wine. After this miracle, the disciples started to believe that Jesus was specially sent by God. Just as Jesus turned ordinary water into wine, he turns bread and wine into his body and blood in the Eucharist. After all, Jesus is God. Okay, so Jesus and Mother Mary and his disciples went to a wedding in Cana. Okay, and they were invited. It wasn't anybody's wedding that, like it wasn't Jesus's wedding or it wasn't his disciples' wedding. They were invited to a wedding from most likely a friend, and Mother Mary noticed that the last bit of wine had been given out, so there was no more wine. So she went up to Jesus and asked him, "Hey, there's no more wine. What can we do about this?" And Jesus kind of tells her, "Mom, this isn't our wedding. We're not in charge. Let's just leave it alone." And Mother Mary was like, "Nope. If we can help, then we should." And so she told the servants at the wedding, who by servant, I mean the helpers. She told the servants for them to fill up these big, they're like big jars, big containers. She said, or she told them to listen to Jesus, and Jesus was the one who told them, "I want you to go fill these up with water." So there's 6. There's 6 containers that are big, and so the servants go and they fill them with water. And Jesus didn't do anything. He didn't wave a magic wand over it, or he didn't perform a magic trick. All he did was he told the servant, he goes, "Okay, go ahead and draw some out, or take some out with a cup, and take that cup to the person who's in charge of the wedding and have them taste what's in the cup." And so the servant did as he was asked to do by Jesus, and the person who was in charge said, "Wow, this is the best wine that we've had at this wedding." And so because Jesus, the servants, and the disciples knew what that wine actually was, remember, it was water. that was turned into wine, then they really began to believe that Jesus was the Son of God and that he was sent to earth to save us. So we are going to go ahead and watch a little video. These are our favorites from Saddleback Kids, our favorite little animation. There is no work today. There's no work for religion, so it's just you listening and watching this video. So I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Stories of the Bible. Jesus turns water into wine. This is Jesus,
Heyo!
who is the Son of God and the Savior of the world. Jesus was born in Bethlehem and grew up in Nazareth, where he grew in wisdom and favor with God
Oh, I see.
and man. One day, Jesus, his disciples, and his mother went to a wedding in Cana. In the middle of the party, the wine ran out.
Uh-oh.
So Jesus' mother, Mary, told him, "They have no more wine."
Aww.
Jesus replied, "Dear woman, that's not our problem. My time has not yet come." But Mary told the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Standing nearby were 6 stone water jars. The Jews used jars like these in their washing ceremony. Jesus told the servants, "Fill the jars with water."
Yeah, okay.
When the jars had been filled, he said, "Now dip some out and take it to the master of ceremonies." So the servants did what Jesus told them to. When the master of ceremonies tasted the water that was now wine, not knowing where it had come from, though of course the servants knew, he called the bridegroom over. A host always serves the best wine first. Then, when everyone has had a lot to drink, he brings out the less expensive wine. But you have kept the best until now. This miraculous sign in Cana in Galilee was the first time Jesus revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him.
Okay, so it's just a quick little video giving you a summary of what happened. Okay, so remember that is the first miracle that Jesus performed, turning water into wine. So remember, there is no work today for religion, so you're just watching and listening to this video, and we will continue this miracle tomorrow. So be on the lookout for your language arts video.